Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I guess it's still morning. It's not afternoon yet here. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mandy Brenham coming to you, host of the Full-Time Investor, a live show that we put on every week. Myself, Mandy Brenham, known as the Joint Venture Queen, Solutions-Driven Property Management. My producer, Larry Brenham, Pokeroo, who at some point I will have him on this side of the camera, I promise you. So what's happening in full-time investor world today? Well, that's always an interesting question, and what I come to you today with might not have been what I came to you yesterday with, and things that have rolled out and happened all week. But what I chose to be able to make the topic of today's episode is priorities. And I think that is of utmost importance again and again in every different angle of your investing, whether you are just starting out with your first property or you have 2 or 3 properties, you're looking to expand. I've recently been in contact with quite a few people who are indicating to me that they would like to be a full-time investor. They really want to be able to get into this full-time. And so prioritizing, determining what are your top priorities as a full-time real estate investor is super important for you to be able to continue to grow and maximize your time, utilize everything efficiently, create systems, things like that. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. And I need to give full credit where credit is due, because you know me, I stand on the shoulders of giants. And the giant that I want to shout out to today is Quentin D'Souza, who taught me this super early on. And as you can tell, when something resonates with you, it will stay with you for a long time. So one of the first times that I heard Quentin speak, he talked to us about his $10 an hour jobs, his $100 an hour jobs, and his $1,000 an hour jobs. And I still to this day resonate with all of those levels of jobs, of activities, of priorities within our real estate investing business. And the only thing I'm going to add on top of Quentin's $1,000 hour activities is a $10,000 hour activity. And that's really just growing and becoming more outside of the day-to-day. That's a different level of your business as you progress through it. So keep in mind, you're at the right step. You're not, if there are things that you take away from the show today, I want you to understand that you're not making a mistake. You're actually right where you need to be, and you're learning at the exact moment that you need to be learning at to know what it is you want to do next. If you're happy with your size of your portfolio, great. Don't change it. If you like doing property management, amazing. Don't change it. If you like painting because you're an interior designer and you like to create and you like to do that and it's therapeutic, great. Do it. Here's what I'm sharing with you. If you are stuck and you're complaining, oh, must be nice, oh, wish I could do that, and then I hear you doing other things, lower priority things than what it is you perceive that you would like to be doing, this is my share for you, is that now that you have acknowledged that there is something of a different use of your time that you would like to be doing, let's do it, okay? But if you are happy doing what you're doing, great. And so that's what you need to be doing, okay? So what's a $10 an hour activity? I usually do this really interactively, and so I'm not saying that there's some people online today that might like to be able to answer for me, but some of the low, and I call them low, they're so important. They're important to your everyday management and upkeep of your properties. They are very important activities. Okay. But we right now are talking as investors, investor to investor here. Okay. And we are strategic investors and we know where we want to go. And so that's what I'm talking to you today about is a full-time investor. So an activity that is on the $10 an hour job is cutting the grass. I actually just saw a YouTube video the other day of somebody who was getting ready for an appraisal and they were cutting their own grass. Phenomenal. Okay. because in that moment, the importance of having the grass cut for an appraisal, okay, an appraisal, refinancing a property is a high priority action. Cutting the grass to get ready for the appraisal is an essential step for that person to have taken, okay? But if as you continue to grow that you are your own lawn maintenance person, you're your own snow maintenance person, then it might be impeding you from doing higher priority activities, okay? If you want to choose the paint color, hey, great, go be an interior designer, set out the design for your units, but don't be the one stuck in the actual activity of painting, okay? So there's painting. What about cleaning your units? Tenant turnovers. Okay? Those are things that you can hire people to be able to do. I have a beautiful cleaner. I tell you, you know what? I love her to pieces. She's in transition mode right now, expecting her third child. She is of a top-notch person on my team. Okay, she cleans for me. She's an organizer. She's my eyes on the ground. She is an important person in the growth of my business, and she loves what she does. So why would I take away from her something that she loves to do? So I've left her there. She cleans all my units. She does the tenant turnovers, and now she's ready. And I can then go on and do another one. So maybe we're able to coordinate 3 tenant turnovers and not get stuck in the, I don't have time to be able to do all this stuff myself. So right now I've touched on, as a real estate investor, as a full-time real estate investor, excuse my voice. I don't know why. We're in July and I seem to have picked up a cold. Probably need to have a little bit more sleep. Just pump some vitamin C. But you know what? That's just all in the day of a life of. Okay. So some of the low priority activities that you want to be able to ensure that you know how to do, you know that you have qualified people on your team, but you don't want to get stuck in there very often, is painting a unit, minor little maintenance. Now, again, minor little maintenance was interesting because it was touched on the other day. If you can go and do a job, put the screen door back on or put in a new light bulb because your senior tenant can't do it, and it's actually more efficient for you just to go over and do it because you'll get it done in 5 minutes than it is for you to contact your handyman, open a work order, send them over, have them look, you need to go to the store, buy a bulb, and go back. Great, just go do it yourself, okay? But don't get stuck in that too often because, again, I'm coming to you as somebody who has over 100 units, which I know in the growth of the world is a lot, and it's also a small amount. So I'm teaching and learning as I continue to go. So small little handyman jobs, cutting grass, painting, any kind of yard maintenance, snow maintenance. Those are low priority activities for a growing real estate investor. Okay, growing real estate investor. Do you want to know? I'm going to, because you know what? I'm totally transparent. And this is something that you know me, I always put this stuff out there. Right now, we have chosen to Airbnb one of our units. And I am writing lists and shopping for items to be able to put into my Airbnb. I know that there are people out there that would absolutely love to do that. And I need to I don't know why, right? So I think it's a shift in your mind. You have to be willing to give up that job to somebody else. And so as I'm in here in the moment, I am saying that there are times that I'm like, but I haven't even made money from the Airbnb yet. How can I pay somebody to be able to do it? And so there's this experimental period. You're like, I'm just going to do it to see if it makes money. I'm just going to do the grass and the snow to be able to know how much time it really takes. I'm just going to paint a unit once to be able to for sure know how much paint it takes, how much time it takes, and what level of finishes I'm expecting as an owner to have done, so that when you offer it outside, when you try and hire it out, you will know specifically how much material cost there's going to be, how much labor cost there's going to be, and what your end product needs to be for you to be satisfied, for you to know when you hire somebody, okay? So my second level of priority within a full-time investor's life or world or growth, when we're in growth mode here, we have certain levels of priority, is the $100 hour activities. So what is $100 hour activities? Good question, right? Good question. What is $100 hour activities? Property management, filling the units, finding qualified people, calling references. That's $100 an hour activity. Super important, isn't it? Because we can't have an asset for 10 years if we don't have tenants making that asset a home for themselves, paying us rent to be able to live there. That is a super important activity for the long-term profitability, for the long-term maintenance of our properties, okay? So it's really important. Property management is really important. Bookkeeping. Bookkeeping has been kind of a pain point for my mentees and I recently. It takes up a lot of time, but the importance of it is so high level. If you want to attract joint venture partners, you need to have your bookkeeping put together. If you need to know if you're profitable or not, you need to have accurate bookkeeping to be able to know where you're profitable or not. If you are ready to grow to the next level, you need to be able to know if you're making money or not. You need accurate bookkeeping to be able to do that. So and it's a spot that people say, but it costs a lot to be able to hire that professional. And it's one of the first professionals that we might find on our team other than in the acquisition mode of purchasing the asset with a lawyer and a real estate agent. And so bookkeeping is a $100 hour activity. So I've got property management and bookkeeping. My newly added $100 hour activity is website design. If you are in growth mode as a full-time real estate investor, you want to make sure that you have an online presence. And I share that as in, like, I'm saying the words that my own ears need to continue to hear, because I have hired a firm to be able to help me create my website into being more attractive and being, you know, like, whatever they do over there, be able to get it so that on a search engine and whatnot, you know, here it is, Mandy Brenham, joint venture queen, solutions driven, comes up top of the list, top of the searches. That's important. And I'm putting that as a $100 hour activity because I have already received, and I know there are certain people online and on YouTube, and they are attracting financial partners from their online platforms. So is it important to have an online platform? Yep. Does it necessarily mean that you need to become an expert and do it yourself? No. But if you can cost weight to the cost that it's going to be to create a website, get it up and running, and then attracting joint venture partners compared to you learning how to do it, okay? I'm going to tell you that there are higher priority actions for you to be taking in your growth mode than you learning how to create a website and update it, things like that. So things that I still do for my website are content. I'm writing articles. I am putting in testimonies. I'm putting up my latest offers. So there's still a lot that I need to do to be able to give to my online marketing firm, but it's them and their expertise that is doing that over there. So my bookkeeper was one of the first people that I hired. I hired her for her expertise. People ask me bookkeeping questions and I kind of smile, and I know that I might stand as one, but I come as 10,000. Is that Maya Angelou? I stand as one, but I come as 10,000. I have my bookkeeper behind me. I don't have to know all the answers, but I do need to know that she's on my team. Same with my accountant. So what's a $1,000 hour activity? So all of these things along the way, I'm sharing with you as to you're allowed to quit the lower priority actions as you have a higher priority action to continue to do. Okay. And it's that's in the entrepreneur roller coaster, and it's almost learn to quit. Okay. Learn when it's time to quit doing one thing, and not because just because it's a low priority activity, because there's higher priority activities for you to be able to do. What is the $1,000 hour activities? Get to the $1,000 hour activities, Mandy, because gosh darn it, I want to be making $1,000 an hour. Absolutely you would. What are those $1,000 hour activities? Raising capital, going networking to be able to find where the capital is, going to events where people are looking, who are savvy investors, who are looking to diversify with real estate. Okay. So I'm always looking in areas where I know people are professionals. I'm looking for somebody who loves what they do, and they're looking to be able to get into real estate and partner with an expert. So my networking opportunities are with people who are looking for me as I'm looking for them. Remember, and I was just talking about this last night, okay? We actually have a duty, okay? Full-time investors have a duty to the universe. There is more money out there than there is trusted activities for that money to do, okay? There's more money than there is doers, okay? And I'm a doer. I do things with that money. I have proven systems with that money. So as a $1,000 hour activity, I am going out to the universe to be able to say, I am a doer. I am ready to be able to do things with that capital and get it working with proven systems, proven properties, proven lifts, proven returns. You have a duty to be able to offer to the finances in the world, to the money in the world, to be able to get it to doing things for you. Okay, so a $1,000 hour activity is raising capital, looking for new joint venture partners. Where are they? Okay, another $1,000 hour activity, of course, is what to do with that money, negotiating deals. Are you going and viewing properties? Are you analyzing properties? I've got my iPad here that has my deal analyzers on it, and I must analyze, I analyze less now because many of the properties I already know based on the area, the neighborhood, as to what I can very quickly tell you if a property is going to make sense or not make sense with a rough idea of all the numbers. But if you're just starting out, I want you to analyze numerous deals again and again and again until you know that a property in London, Ontario, around a certain area will attract a certain kind of tenant, which will attract a certain rent profile and has a certain tax roll because you have a rough idea of what the taxes are in that area. You can analyze those properties like that. Until you're able to analyze them that quickly, I want you to put them on your analyzer and just plunk in the numbers, be talking to the agents and finding out all of the missing information on there. What's a rough estimate for insurance? What's a rough estimate for taxes? So a $1,000 hour activity is how fast can you analyze and negotiate a new deal? Okay. How fast can you get there to be able to analyze that deal? One thing about being a full-time real estate investor, I don't have to wait for weekends. I don't have to wait for evenings. Okay. I'm chatting with a partner tonight. Okay. Lovely couple. We're buying a couple properties together. But the time that they have available to talk is in the evenings because during the day they work. And then in the early evenings, they're with their children, and that's of a high priority action for them. And so the time that they have to speak is in the evenings. And so if you're a full-time real estate investor and let's say I'm a full-time real estate investor, which I am, and you're a wannabe full-time investor, but you still have a full-time job, okay? And a property comes on the market. I'm able to see it in an hour. Are you able to see it in an hour? Or are you trying to negotiate with your agent to see it on an evening or a weekend? Well, most likely it will already be gone, or maybe they're holding offers, so it'll give you some time to be able to go through them. But so negotiating a deal in a timely manner based on the speed of which you're able to analyze a property is a $1,000 hour activity. Okay, because you're just able to do it again and again and again and again, quicker and quicker and quicker. Okay, what's another $1,000 hour activity? Networking. I kind of touched on that when we talked about raising capital, but where are you networking? Like there's places that you go with your children, and that's lovely, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's where you go to find or raise capital. Are you continuing? And then here's my next $1,000 hour activity is investing in yourself. A lot of people will go, actually, I have a beautiful testimony from a gentleman that attended one of my seminars. And it was $200 for the day to be able to attend my seminar. And I said to him, I will make sure that it's worth your $200 to attend my seminar for the day. Okay. And so he wrote a testimony to say, holy crap, yep, it was well worth it. So that $200 an hour, it's not even $200 an hour. I'm sorry. It was $200 a day for him to attend a seminar with me. I believe he's bought 3 properties, 3, since he attended the seminar. So is that $1,000 an hour activity to spend $200 to invest in yourself for a day, to be able to get yourself in action, to be able to get the motivation, to be able to kick your own butt to go and buy 3 properties? I'd say so. I absolutely say so. Now, you can invest in yourself at $1,000 hour activity. Okay. I'm not saying that it has to cost $1,000 an hour, but the value of you building up you is going to be able to be your top priority action. You're able to go and do things when you have the top-notch information. Watching my show right now is $1,000 hour activity if one of these items is able for you to be able to recognize that you want to go to the next level and something's been holding you back. Hey, and if you love doing it, keep doing it, but don't complain that you're not at the next level if you haven't been able to give away something that's lower priority for you to be able to go to the next priority. Okay. So watching this show is $1,000. So you're welcome. Something else on my $1,000 hour activity is to be able to build your power team. Now, this isn't something that, it's going to be hours upon hours that you're going to be able to do it. But building up knowledge in the mortgage industry, knowing what strategic steps to take to build a portfolio for yourself and for your investors, for your joint venture partners, knowing which lawyer is the most efficient, effective, not necessarily the cheapest. I don't shop for the cheapest, right? Ray Ostrander, high five, don't be cheap, okay? I know there's going to be quite a few people that would understand that. High five, don't be cheap. I am not cheap when it comes to my accountant. I don't go for cheap when it comes to my bookkeeper. I don't go for cheap when it comes to my lawyer, because those are people that I have invested time in to be able to make sure that they are the best people on my team. So a little bit of an in-the-moment story for Mandy, and I have shared this with a part of a group that I'm part of. I recently have had an interaction with a very well-known mortgage specialist. He's amazing at what he does. He's helping out with 3 properties to close on, but I'd asked him to help out with 5. And the last one was a gentleman partner of mine who's a lawyer, and he has a corporation. He has a holdco. And so this mortgage specialist said, yep, no problem. I can help with a holdco. I can finance a couple properties or more than a couple properties, but it's going to need to be in a bare trust. And if you don't know that, it's high level. I'm not going to get into it right now, but a bare trust is something that you put it in your personal name, and then but the bare trust holds the asset for your corporation. Well, my lawyer partner wanted nothing to do with that bare trust, nothing. And the mortgage specialist, who's been around for many, 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 many years, failed to mention that, both to myself and to my partner, that we really could only move forward with him as a broker with the corporation on title through Scotiabank, which is where we wanted to go, if we had this bare trust. And if he wasn't, he would go direct to Scotiabank, but he would have to charge us a fee. And so he advised us very nicely, if we wanted to hold title in the corporation, that we should go directly to a Scotiabank mortgage person. And so I did. Okay. And because another $1,000 hour activity is how fast you're able to act, how fast you're able to pivot. Isn't that a key term right now? Pivot. Everybody's talking about, knowing when to pivot. Is it working? Is it not working? And know that if it's not working, pivot. Okay. And that's what happened with us. $1,000 hour activity on my part, because I recognized very quickly after a phone call with this gentleman that the financing was not going in the direction that we had originally discussed. And so I quickly pivoted. The deal's not falling apart. I had to include a few other people on my power team to make sure that the agent could extend the deal, that the lawyer for closing was on board and could negotiate this with the seller's lawyer to be able to get an extension. So we were all good. And we called a new mortgage specialist. And she was on, although I've not connected with her, she came super highly recommended. It was very specific about what we want. And I got a text from her already this morning to say she's already inputted the entire application. She's waiting on a couple pieces of information and she'll be able to proceed very quickly. Okay. So $1,000 hour activity is not to get stuck, is not to go, oh, I don't have any options. Oh, this sucks. I guess I better walk away. Oh, this isn't the outcome. I'll wait for the next property. The $1,000 hour activity is to be able to know when to pivot and how fast you can move on to another option. Okay. I think that's about all I want to say on $1,000 hour activities but I want you to start to think dollar hour activities, because we sometimes just say, oh, but I can do it better, so I might as well do it, but so I can do it better. But if there's a higher priority action and you're like, actually, I'm doing, and I'm saying $10, but minimum wage in Ontario is 15 or 16, but it's just for round numbers and for, to be able to describe to you what these levels look like. So the newest level that I've put on here is my $10,000 hour activity. And these are for very strategic investors. Okay. This is not for everybody. And you have to be able, you can't skip a step. You cannot skip a $10 an hour step and go straight to $1,000 hour activity if you haven't done these basic steps. Okay. So my $10,000 an hour activity is to be able to go out, become larger than yourself. Okay. Help more people, find a way to help the many, for service to many leads to greatness. Zig Ziglar. Okay. Find a way to be able to help thousands with clean, safe, appropriate housing. I have a duty to financial partners to be able to get their capital working in secured investments within the real estate industry. Okay. I have a duty to all of my power team to be able to say that I'm helping their businesses no different than they're helping mine. Okay. And I'm creating systems so that I can duplicate what it is. I only have 24 hours in a day. Elon Musk. Okay. Richard Branson only has 24 hours in a day. So how can Richard Branson create, I don't even know how many companies, multi-million dollar, he's a billionaire, so billion-dollar companies, all with 24 hours. He has created systems to be able to have his ideas and his businesses run without him having to be there. That's the $10,000 hour activity. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on creating systems. So you say, hey, Mandy, how did you buy 65 properties in 4 years? Let me show you my systems. Okay, I'm creating those systems to be able to be duplicated so that I can go and do more systems, help more people on a global level. Housing, I want to first start in my province, then I'm going to reach, nationally across Canada to be able to create these housing units, and then I'm going to go global. And the only way you're able to do that is to be able to have a $10,000 hour activity that you are working on these kind of systems. Maybe someday I'll be able to come down to you from my own network. It'll be like, somebody called me the Oprah of real estate. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going for. I'll have my own network and I'll be able to tell you all about the global influence that I've had with based on real estate. And it'll be $1 million hour activity. Who knows, right? You always have a dream, always have a reason. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today is prioritizing your time, making sure that if your goals are larger than what you're doing right now, but congratulations on where you are right now. Congratulations on spending and investing the time to watch this show today. And if I can help you acknowledge and awaken to the next level of priority that you would like to be doing to grow your real estate business, to grow any business that you might have, to become the best version of yourself, then I want you to take away these priority levels. So keep in mind, $10 hour activity, $100 hour activity, and $1,000 hour activity, and working towards the 10,000 and the $1 million hour activity. Okay. So that's it for me, Mandy Brenham, the full-time investor known as the joint venture queen, coming to you today from my in-home studio. And stay tuned. I'm going to have an awesome guest coming on next week. You won't want to miss it. Your network equals your net worth. We're going to be talking about who is in your circle of 5 to be able to make sure that you're always growing to the next level. And I'm going to have an awesome investor here with me next week. So stay tuned. I'll see you in a week. It's July next week. So happy summer. I'm glad the weather has changed here in Ontario. Take care, everybody. That's Mandy signing out for today.